Hey guys, today I'd like to welcome you to the first episode of Six Speed Circus. My name is Chip and will be your host. So what is Six Speed Circus going to be about? Well, it's about commuting daily on a motorcycle. For the last 6 years approximately, I've commuted every day to work on a motorcycle. I haven't had the need for a car for a while. Recently I've changed jobs. My commute doesn't require interstate travel, so just more local. It's about 70 miles round trip for me. So I bought a bike that I felt best suited the needs of that trip. You may not be familiar with this bike. It's called the CSC RX3. Now what's unique about this bike is they're imported in California. They're sold directly through the website. They cost about $4,200 delivered to your door. But it's a very practical motorcycle. You get a whole lot of bike for the $4,200 you spend. This one has a few upgrades on it, which I'll kind of touch base with you here in a few minutes. However, the nice thing, or one of the the features about this bike is that it's designed to be able to be maintained by the owner, where you don't have to bring it into a shop all the time and spend a bunch of money. So today I'm going to be doing an oil change on it. I'm going to document that, show you how easy that is. It's actually my first time changing the oil on this. So, we'll see how that goes, but I think it'll be fine. It's been a really great bike so far. I put 1,000 miles on it. I bought it pre-owned. I had 4,000 miles on it when I bought it. The previous owner seemed to have taken pretty good care of it. So I'm looking forward to a long service life on this bike. Like I said, I plan to put at least 20,000 miles on it over the next year. So I'd like to document not only some of the travel on the bike, some of the locations I've been. A lot of it's just going to be commuting back and forth to work, but the whole ownership experience, changing the oil, adjusting the valves, all this stuff. I'll probably be doing some upgrades to it. I do want to put a center stand is available for this. That's probably one of the things that I'll be doing to it. But again, I want to document the experience of ownership of one of these motorcycles. Like I said, so far it's been a very good experience for me. If you're contemplating buying a motorcycle like this and you want to know what's involved, so maybe you tune in and check it out. Again, I only ride a motorcycle. I haven't had a car for about 5-6 years now, so taking care of my motorcycle is kind of a priority. It is how I get to and from work every day. I do live in sunny Florida, so that's a plus for me. I have the ability to ride 365 days a year. Rain, whatever. Got rain gear here. That's one nice thing. But obviously, it comes with these bags. This, the hard pack. So I've got 2 side bags of 2, and I also have the top case. So lots of room for storage. They also offer an upgrade size bag in aluminum. So that's if you need to carry more stuff, it is available. But this, like I said, seems to be suiting my needs at this point. And again, like I said, I want to document this. The ownership experience of this motorcycle, so that if you have any questions about it, if you're considering a motorcycle, you may want to put this on your list and follow along. And I think that it's like I said, it's been a good ownership experience for me so far. And as we go through the the different multiple stages of maintenance, I think that it should be fun. So join along with me, guys. I am going to be switching from the from the GoPro to a flip video, so we can get some up close features of what I'm doing here on the bike. I don't think you can really see it from the GoPro, but we'll go through that as we go. Again, my name is Chip. The name of my channel is the Six Speed Circus. Obviously, 6-speed motorcycle. Circus is circus is circus. So guys, I'll talk to you real soon, and follow along as I change the oil on my RX3. Oh, and guys, if you're looking online and you're trying to find information on these bikes, you may find it also under Zongshen Cyclone. They're known throughout the world. They're just relatively new to the States. There's good reviews, for every place from Russia, South America. It is quite a substantial motorcycle for the money that you spend. So highly consider you checking them out. And guys, I'll be talking to you real soon. Bye. Alright guys, welcome back to Six Speed Circus. I'm your host Chip, and I am going to be changing the oil on my 2015 RX3. So I'm going to take a quick walk around and kind of show you some of the features on the bike. It does have the high handlebars. So it is an upright seating position with the center pegs. So this thing, sits up. It's really comfortable to ride. Actually, probably they have offer a better seat. I may consider that. Just because I spend so much time on the saddle. But it's a nice instrumentation up here.
The only negatives I've found on the instrumentation so far, if the sun is coming, over your shoulder, sometimes it's hard to read the little indicator lights. But other than that, especially at night, this is really quite a nice display. I do have my tech mount for my phone. This one has some optional features on it. Again, this has the heated grips. It has the hand guards, which are really nice. It also has a USB port down here, which is really nice. I can plug in my phone and keep it charged. I can plug in my GoPro and keep it charged. So it's it's a pretty nice feature to have. Now it doesn't come, like I said, it doesn't come standard with those things, but it's an easy add. It also has these really great, as an option, these really great LED lights. Now these things turn night into day for me, so being an old guy, being able to see at night is really important. From the standpoint of the bike, I mean, the styling is very, it's an adventure bike, so it kind of has like maybe a cross between some of the adventure bikes you've seen out there. It has a very BMW-ish kind of look to it, but it's not that monster-sized motorcycle that's hard to handle. This is actually a really easy motorcycle to handle. I'm 5'8" and 185 pounds. Seems like a really perfect fit for me. It performs pretty well. It's a 250, so it's not, it's not a monster by any means, but, I travel, pretty much every day, and I'm, hitting the 60, 70 mile per hour mark with no issues. So it's been a really good bike. It does have an upgraded bulb in it for the headlight, which is, again, I'm old guy, so I like to see well at night, but it does, it does quite well. The nice thing about the bike, again, is it's got this bag, the bags on it. It's got the side bags. It's got the top case. It's, it's got quite a bit of room storage that I can take with me. And again, today I mostly want to highlight the oil change procedure. Again, this is a bike that's designed to be maintained by the owner, and there's a lot of good stuff online that explains you how to do that. But again, if you follow along, I think that you'll find this. This is my first time doing this oil change, so this is a learning experience for me as well. I am going to use the recommended oil that they recommend on the website, the Mobil 1 Racing Tea. They say after your first 1,000-mile oil change, you can convert over. I've got the factory filter there. We are going to, now one of the things that they did say is they recommend cleaning the screens, which I'll pull a screen here in a few minutes. They recommend cleaning it with WD-40. I don't happen to have any, so I'm going to use some mineral spirits. But next time I'll have some on hand. So I should have checked the website before I went shopping for my stuff. But we'll come over here. Over here it's got two oil fill caps. It's got one here and one here. We've got to take both of those out. And then we have a drain plug down here on the bottom. It is behind the skid plate. You see, it actually has a skid plate. Isn't that kind of nice for kind of an entry-level bike? Also has these great, crash bars on there. I know you're not supposed to call them crash bars, but that's me. That's what they're really there for. Anyways, you got the oil sight level here. You got the lines, the scribe lines, the high and the low marks. So we're going to be getting our oil in that area somewhere. And then we have two oil fill caps here. Only one is required. We have some screens, so like metal screens, to collect particles. They're in here, and then my oil filter's here. Now it says that, according, I hope I have the correct tools, it says that I will need a 17mm socket and an 8mm socket, so I will be using that to take the oil out. Again, be sure you dispose of your oil responsibly. As you can see, it is a nicely water-cooled engine. It's fuel injected. So as we're down here looking at a few things, it's water cooled. So it is a very nice bike. Like I said, you do get a whole lot of bike for the money. But let's get started on the oil change, guys. In a few minutes here, I'm just going to start draining the oil. I'm going to pull the caps, and we'll see how it goes. All right, guys. Hopefully you're able to see everything okay. Listen, every oil change job is essential to have this one specific tool. An old pair of underwear that you can use as a rag to wipe your hands. Again, we're going to be using the Mobil 1 Synthetic Racing Tea 1040 oil. I do live in Florida, so they recommend either the 540 or the 1040. I'm going to be using the 1040. Again, mineral spirits to clean the screen, which you should have access to here in a few minutes. And this is the factory oil filter. It goes on one way. And we'll get started. All right, so I'm going to take the one oil cap off here first. Again, there are no dipstick tubes on these vehicles. You strictly use the sight glass. And looking good so far. And this one, I'm going to use a screwdriver to take it off, but it's designed, you can literally stick a coin, penny, something in there to take that off. They actually show using a penny online to remove it. It's got just a little recess there. It looks like it's designed where you can get a coin in there if necessary to add some oil if you have to. And we are going to go ahead and, now with the two oil plugs open, it should allow the the crankcase to drain fully. There's going to not be any suction up in there. We're going to come down here. All right. Okay. All right. Wow, that's nice. It's got a little magnet on the end of the plug there. And I don't know if you can see it or not. There is a little bit of metal shavings on there. Not too bad. But the magnetic plug is doing its job and gathering up all that little bit of debris there. Now, one of the things that they do recommend oil changes every 2,000 miles, and I'm sure that's because this vehicle does only hold less than 2 quarts of oil, so 1.7 quarts from what I understand. So just keep that in mind. You do have to change your oil more frequently, but you don't use as much oil when you do. So this magnet works really well. Trying to get some of this little fine dust off of there. There we go. It's got a copper crush washer on the drain plug. That should seal it up nice and tight. Alright, so let's start taking a look at these screens here. There's one on each side. Get this free with that. There we go. That's all it took. A little bit more leverage. I'm going to try not to drop this plug into the drain pan. I've had a tendency to do that at times in my life. So inside here is supposed to be a screen, there we go, to catch metal debris. And check it out, there it is. And it actually doesn't look too bad. It looks pretty clean. Actually, yeah, doesn't look bad at all. So I'm just going to pour a little mineral spirits over there, be sure everything's cleaned out. But it actually, like I said, I don't really see any debris in there. That's a good thing. Again, this isn't this bike's first oil change. I'm sure on the first oil change you probably had some flashing that came off in there. There you go. Look at that. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. So we're good there. Alright. Now the one on the other side, the bike is leaned that way, so I'm sure we'll probably get a little bit more oil out of the other side there. Put that back in. And I like to keep the oil draining as I'm doing all this stuff, so that way, anything that's up in the upper end may work its way down. I'm not a motorcycle mechanic. I used to be, back in the late 70s, early 80s, an auto mechanic. But I'm sure, as you're well aware, the industry has changed quite a bit since then, so pulling wrenches for a living isn't my thing. But again, this seems to be pretty simple so far. Now, you're going to lose sight of me for just a moment as I go to the other side to change the other filter, or clean the other filter. Alright, actually this, I don't know if you saw that, but this filter actually came out with the end of the plug. Again, it appears to be pretty clean. No signs of metal debris, but that's its job, to catch all that. oil filter out. Alright. Snip the cap there. Again, I'm going to try not to drop these nuts into the oil. It does feel like it's under, has a spring tension there, so. Alright, so I've got one off. And there's the other. And as I suspected, there was a spring in there to keep the oil filter tight. So we'll take a look there. Everything looks clean. The O-ring looks good. Alright. Actually, it looks pretty clean there. Alright, so put that back on. And let's see. I recommend a magnet to pull it out. Now, here's a little trick, guys. They recommend a magnet to pull out your oil filter. Your drain plug happens to have a magnet on there. So look at that. Nice and easy. Now the filter does, I do see a little debris in the filter, so it's doing its job. So I'm just going to put that in there for now. And then we will proceed with the new filter in. These are, you can get this these from CSC. They're about nine and change each new per unit, or you can buy them in a 6-pack, which is what I did. Again, I do a whole lot of riding, so it takes, you know, to put 2,000 miles on the bike should take me no time at all. Alright, so. And then we're going to put the rubber side to the inside. There we go. And we're going to replace the cap. Looks like it could go either way. We'll just see here in just a moment. There you go. Well, guys, so far this has been pretty easy, pretty basic. I think that probably most people, you know, could handle this type of service. Now, honestly, I have never adjusted the valves on a motorcycle, but this does have the lock nut style, which I'm used to for when I used to be a Toyota mechanic. So I think I'm going to give that a shot. I will not attempt to do shim style motorcycle adjustments. Again, looking at the online tutorial on this, I think it's something I can handle. And the chain adjustments and all that sort of thing, I will probably also go through and, you know, tighten up some bolts on this thing as I'm going through it here. I'm going to over torque it. There we go. Let's double check that plug. And go ahead and put the drain plug back in. Again, everything's pretty easily accessible. I didn't have to remove anything to get to any of these bolts. On my old bike, I used to have to take all the fairings off, and it was a couple of hour routine to just change the oil. So you kind of had to make a plan for it. This one's not so bad. Again, using the Mobil 1 Racing 4T 1040. This is a fully synthetic motorcycle oil. Be sure you use the motorcycle oil. There are friction inhibitors in certain oils that will cause your clutch to slip if you use car oil in a motorcycle. There we go. Get a little seepage around the funnel because it's not a good fit, but that's what we have underwear for, to clean it up. There we go. Looking good so far. Love the color of this nice golden brown synthetic oil. That's 1 quart. And we'll go with number 2. Again, it doesn't take quite 2 full quarts. About the half. Alright. We'll take a look at that. This is settled in. Now when you check your oil, it's on a stand, so it's leaning over. They suggest you pull the bike into the upright position. And yeah, just a little low. I'm going to just start it for a moment, let it cycle, shut it off, and then I will double check the oil level. No leaks at this point, so that's a good thing. Alright. Now take a look at that oil level. And that looks good. So guys, I want to thank you for joining me for today's first episode of the Six Speed Circus, where we change the oil on my RX-3, maybe get familiar with the bike. Look forward to showing you some other stuff on the bike. We'll take some rides together, show you some of the places I've been. Also, as I do some more routine maintenance on the bike, I'll try and document that as well. I'll show you how ownership of a motorcycle like this can be pretty rewarding from that standpoint. If you're like me, you like to fidget with things, but you also, if you're like me, you don't want to get into something that you really can't handle. So again, I think this bike is probably geared more towards people like me that have some mechanical abilities but aren't motorcycle geniuses. Again, I think that as we go along, we're going to find that there are a lot of really cool things we can do with this bike. And like I said, I don't plan on a whole lot of modifications because it's really pretty well equipped the way it is. But we'll see how it goes. As things become available, we'll check it out. Well, guys, I will talk to you real soon.